Good morning to wherever you may be. It's time now for Midnight Baseball, episode number 87. I'm Spencer Dodgers, and this is the Hibernating Baby Bears. Shh. We don't want to be too loud and wake up the World Series champions from 2017 because the Chicago Cubs are in third place, and they're getting everybody excited. When are the Cubs going to wake up? Do we know what it's like for a baseball team to win a World Series after 100 years? Do we know what it's like to have a baby bear wake up from hibernation after its first long sleep? We really don't. So let's don't expect the Chicago Cubs to be doing too much. They'll be fine, and we're going to tell you why in a minute. Trivia from last time. Which player in baseball is nicknamed the Crime Dog? 1, 2, 3. Mr. Fred McGriff. Fred McGriff, a great all-around baseball player, ended his career with 493 home runs, almost 2,500 hits, close to the Hall of Fame. But he got his nickname from Chris Berman, the personality commentator from commentator from ESPN. The great Chris Berman, the Boomer, does NFL primetime. Great guy. Gave the McGruff, Crime Dog McGruff from the LA area. It might have been a national social marketing thing, but Crime Dog McGruff got his nickname from McGriff, and that's the full circle in the nickname. And I gotta get my hats off real fast to Chris Berman and his family. Unfortunately, he lost his wife in a tragic car accident. Mr. Berman, our thoughts are here at Midnight Baseball. Thank you for giving us all the entertainment over the years, sir. Okay, quick news and notes. Some prospects being called up. How is it affecting their current team, and who's starting to call up prospects? Because once that happens, the dominoes will start falling, okay? Number 1 is Bradley Zimmer with the Cleveland Indians. Outfielder. Came up last night. Big left-handed stick. Let's see what the Indians can do with Zimmer. Another guy that could be called up very soon. Austin Meadows from the Pittsburgh Pirates, okay? Andrew McCutchen in center field, struggling a little bit. Let's trade McCutchen from Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh, bring in another starter, maybe Jose Quintana or somebody else, right? Put a number 2 behind Garrett Cole. See if you can come through and have Austin Meadows take over center field for now. And then when Starling Marte gets back from suspension, you got Gregory Polanco. There's your outfield, Pittsburgh. And then the last prospect just got called up last 24 hours is Mr. Ian Happ from the Chicago Cubs. Cubs are starting to tinker. Those Bears are starting to do some work, okay? And that's what we're going to go into next. How does Happ and other players affect what's currently going on in the locker room in Chicago? And who is the locker room in Chicago managed by? Managed by the mad scientist himself, Mr. Joe Maddon, right? Bring in the reptiles, bring in the motivational speakers, do it all, win a World Series. But even when you win a World Series, Joe Maddon, the fans and the newspapers are still going to critique you for what you did in Game 6 and Game 7. So how does Joe Maddon continue to bring all of this angst and anxiety and all this pressure in Chicago? They're going to soon forget about 2016 when the ball club finally wakes up. And that ball club waking up is not to start with Mr. Anthony the Great. Anthony the Rizzo is a great man. We always battle with cancer, his leadership in the locker room, what he does with kids off the field. Anthony Rizzo is awesome. But he's struggling this year, right? Maybe why is he struggling? Injuries. Why are injuries happening? He's standing too close to the plate, okay? He made his money and famous by standing on top of the plate and jacking balls to the right field bleachers. But he's not going to be able to do that if he keeps taking 100-mile-an-hour fastballs from Chapman off his forearms. So step back a little off the plate. Think opposite field, okay? But hit by pitches is a topic I've been talking a lot about in Midnight Baseball. I'm going to cover something real fast, and that's the chalk lines. If MLB started uniformly having every grounds crew in all 30 Major League ballparks universally chalk the same way. In Dodger Stadium, our chalk lines look like a pencil. I was watching in Florida the other day when Altuve got hit with a fastball from Straley. Their chalk lines are about this thick. I mean, I couldn't believe the difference. So what this will do, it will help the culture in baseball. It will establish where a pitcher can pitch inside. So when Manny Machado and Bryce Harper get upset, we'll know by seeing the ball if it was past these certain lines, and then we can justify, was the pitcher wrong or was the pitcher right? Does that make sense? I hope that does, because if we universally get these lines across, it'll allow the pitchers and the batters to know where they are and how they need to approach their at-bat, how the pitcher can approach the batter in each at-bat and keep that the same. I mean, the bases are 90 feet apart, right? The mound is 60 feet 6 inches apart, right? The home plate is the same shape. So why aren't the batter's box the same size. That needs to be addressed ASAP. Okay? Last but not least with the Cubbies I'm going into this too is Theo. Theo the puppet master is pulling the strings of the hearts of Chicago fans, because if they keep struggling, he might have to trade players that Cub fans don't want to trade. Albert Ormora Jr., right? Javier Baez, Kyle Schwarber, Ian Happ. Is Ian Happ right now been called up to showcase to other teams, okay? So, Cubs fans, winning a World Series comes with some pain, too, because you fall in love with these players, and they're not as easy to be expendable. So, who will Theo look to trade if he has to improve his team this year? Maybe improve the ball club. Maybe get another starting pitcher. Let's see what Theo does with that, okay, guys? Shout out today. Shout out is going to Teacher Appreciation Week. Teacher Appreciation is coming down to that. Maura Tammy. Maura Tammy's a great teacher for us. She and her father are huge Cubs fans. He's 95 years old. And I found myself during the playoffs last year talking to my son's teacher, my daughter's teacher, about how 99% of me wanted the Dodgers to win in the playoffs, but the 1% chance wanted this 95-year-old man to have his World Series. That's over with. Cubs fans of 2017, I'm no longer being a nice guy, okay? I'm coming for my World Series. Dodgers 2017, let's do it. Trivia from this time. I love Anthony Rizzo. I think he's a great player, and I want to know which franchise drafted Anthony Rizzo. There's a cool side story behind this. I think it came full circle. That's why the World Series happened in 2017. Anthony Rizzo, you're a big part of that. Who drafted him? Gratitude, Midnight Players, for watching my show. My faithful watchers, share it. I'm going to keep going. We're going to keep doing what we do at Midnight Baseball. Support our players, support our fans. I got love for the baseball gods, racklife.org, hashtag retired Dodgers number 34, hashtag Modderpop. And my third campaign I'm going to start right now is called the Cleveland Natives. Yes, absolutely. We are going to be changing the Cleveland Indians to the Cleveland Natives very soon in the next few years. Join me on that. Join me and love me and celebrating everybody. Midnight Baseball. Woo!